Alright, let's continue what we're doing. Okay, yeah, so I don't think Narancia would be able to wield a hammer. Trish? No. Just because, like, not because she's the daughter of the villain, but, like, she's her own character, so I'm just gonna judge her for her own character. Like, but she won't be able to lift a hammer because I think she has a little bit of an ego. Like she's like, oh, I have the stand now, and I can do whatever I fucking want to do, and I'll show you. And like I am strong. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. But I don't think she would be able to lift a hammer anytime soon. No, no, no. Okay, part six. Okay, let's get started. Jolene. Um, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no because the reason why is simply because she hates her father, um, but then tries to save him. Um, she did do a few good actions like save Foo Fighter from dying, and she did restore humanity within Foo Fighters. But in my opinion, I don't think she'd be able to lift a hammer. She needs more reason why. Like she did kill the lawyer. I know I didn't discuss any fight scenes because I don't care. Like I know like the lawyer was bad, but what I'm saying is he was like a non-stand user, so I'm gonna have to think about this logically. I don't think so though. I don't think so because like at the end of the day, she is doing her the way that she wants to do it. So I don't think so. No, same thing. Same thing with Jolene. Like she just wants to protect Jolene and help Jolene as best she can, which is commendable. But she doesn't have anything else to say. Like she doesn't have anything else. Like she needs more reason why she would be able to lift a hammer and all that shit. But anyway, no. Like take the being a serial killer. He used to be a serial killer out of the equation. Yeah, he used to be a serial killer. He killed his wife because his wife was cheating on him. I mean like it's fine. I mean like I don't think he'd be able to lift a hammer anyway, so no. Take away the part that it's just basically a bunch of plankton inhabiting a body, and at the end they did have humanity, given by Jolene. I think, look, I don't think they will be able to lift a hammer because obviously, of course, they kill people and they just inhabit bodies. But I know, like after the fact, they did save Jolene, but at the end of the day, they need more. They need more. They need more worth. You know what I mean? Like they do need more worth to show that they are worthy. But I don't think she is worthy. As I just said right here, I don't think she's worthy. But no, no, I'm gonna say no. All right. Sorry. Part seven. Part seven. No. Johnny. I think he believes in his own God. Like Jesus, because since Jesus says like you're going after these corpse parts, because Valentine wants these corpse parts to make America great again. But I think Johnny wants to do whatever the Lord tells him to do. Like he has free will of his own. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He has free will of his own. Fuck off. He has free will of his own. However, when it comes to actually like when it comes to actually like wielding the hammer, I don't think so because he has too much faith in Jesus, and I don't know what the hammer's opinion is on God. because the reason why is because Johnny is like, I only believe in one God, and that's Jesus Christ, and that's it. Yeah, so I don't know if he would be able to wield the hammer because there's his undying faith to Jesus. I like when I say like if he looked at the hammer, he would say, I don't believe that is possible because I only believe in one God. So yeah. I'm gonna say no. I know that like he changed so much during the Mandem arc, and like after that he changed as a completely unique person. But at the end of the day, I don't think so because yeah, he did save people. And he did do a lot. He does have undying commitment to save people and Johnny. But at the end of the day, I don't think so. I don't think he'd be worthy enough because he has to show more worthiness. No. What? This is a good one. I'm gonna say possibly. This is actually the only villain character that can possibly lift the hammer. Now, the reason why I think this is quite simple. Buddy Valentine wants to just get the course parts to make America great again. We all know that. But at the end of the day, as well, he can also go into an alternate reality where there's a Thor's hammer that can wield him, that like he can wield. But not just that. I don't like. There's a possibility like that he could wield a hammer because like his undying loyalty to protect the people, to help the people. I know like Jesus doesn't like him because obviously he's getting the corpse part. Like he's obviously using the corpse parts for his own nefarious deeds. However, when you're thinking about like when you're thinking about when you're thinking about a villain, they usually kill a lot of people. But Funny Valentine doesn't kill people. He just kills like Johnny and the people that are in his way. But he doesn't really kill innocent people. Really, he doesn't kill like American citizens. He even appointed a black guy to be his bodyguard, which is very progressive. Let's just say, like, I would just say that most likely there's a possibility that he can lift a hammer or lift any hammer in any universe. Like it depends. Like he can go into a parallel universe where a hammer can be lifted by anybody. Just somebody else, yeah. No. Okay, part eight. Wait, did I say part seven? Yeah, I did. Part eight. Well, there's only one character. Josuke or Gabby for sure. No, because at the end of the day, he just wants to do his own thing and wants to do what he thinks is right, and also he got a happy ending. I think he would not want to have the hammer because he's just like, look, I don't need the hammer. Like I can be worthy in my own right. I think it'd be the same as Kakyoin. Like, look, I know I'm a serial killer. Well, one part of me is a serial killer, but I'm doing what is right, and I'm gonna protect my family and friends. And at the end of the day, he got his wish. He lived happily ever after. So I don't think he'd be able to lift a hammer. So yeah, no. I'm just gonna say it right here. No. Um, all he did was try to save a little girl. Yeah, I know that for a fact. But at the end of the day, he hasn't got too much good deeds or too much good bad deeds anyway. Like that's all he's been doing is just for protecting this little girl, and that's it. And then there's only like one volume of Bow, and then that's just it. Then Jojo comes along. But I like how they put Bow in this game. But yeah, I don't think he'd be able to lift a hammer, but that doesn't really matter. No. I'm gonna say possibly. Okay, I'm gonna say it right here. He's incest. Incest. Right. So when you see his backstory, when he actually got gain his full memories, he loved his sister. So I don't know the Hammer's opinion on incest. I don't think he'd be worthy in that, right? Because that's a huge that's only the hugest problem with his character. But he's done many good things. Like if you just like only had him where he just forgot his memories, like that's when he was good. Because the reason why is because he had his undying loyalty to Jolene. He saved FF from, like, he used water. His stand can defeat fucking man in heaven. He he is a great character. Like, and also like he protects people. His stand's great. His stand defends people and all that stuff. And I think he uses his stand for good. When he is doing when he is like he is doing everything good, but that one bad thing could ruin his entire character and could not potentially give him the right to lift the hammer. So I'm just going to say possibly. No, nope, nope. Um, I'm going to say no because the reason why is simply because he doesn't he just basically in the first few seconds of part four, all he's trying to do is try and get Stan users to kill his father, which is understandable because, like, yeah, his father is cursed with regenerating his limbs and all that stuff, and he cannot die. And he wants to put him out of his misery, you know what I mean? Like, he wants his father to just, live a good afterlife, which makes sense because, like, you're just going to be immortal for the rest of your life, and that makes sense. He wants to, like, relinquish the pain. However, doing it did some bad things as well. He just basically, like, he doesn't really like his father. Well, like, his father loves his his brothers. He loves Kecho. He loves Okiasu. However, his greed got the better of him, and that's why he struck a deal with Dio, and that's why he's in that situation in the first place. However, however, I think Kecho just blames him for that. I understand that, but at the end of the day, his father is his father, and he should love him for as long as he is alive. Like what Okiasu did at the end of part four. Like there is no cure. I don't think there will be a cure, or there will be a stand user that can cure him. But yeah, Stroheim. Let me see. Mm, let me see. He's a fucking Nazi. No. Leon Bacchio. I'm just gonna say possibly because I know like he hated Giorno, but if you actually look at it in his point of view, like there's this new guy and he thinks he's a big chief and all that shit, and you don't agree with his methods, so you kind of understand Leon Bacchio's reason for hating Giorno. But after a while, he does develop like respect for Giorno and actually considers him as a great friend. And he defends people. He like helps people. Like he helped little kids and all that shit. And he's a good man. Like he was a great cop and all, but he just thinks that the world is just as corrupt and all that stuff. Like they can just get a good lawyer and all that shit. And his best friends like who died in front of him. That's why he gets to stand Moody Blues to rewind his past mistakes. And So like, so yeah, like there is some good and there's some bad about Leon, but I think there's a possibility. One review, no. But he has the potential to stop the Thor's hammer in its tracks. Let me explain. So you know when, let's say for example, he's fighting Thor, and Thor throws the hammer towards Wonder View. I think Wonder View can stop that because you see, the Thor's hammer is bound by logic, and I think Wonder View can just stop that. Just go like this, stop, and like throw it back at him. That means he can't lift the hammer, but just because of the ability of Calamity, I think he can just stop it in its tracks. Like that'd be so fucking cool. It's just like him walking away, and then Thor just throws the hammer at Wonder View, and then he just turns around slowly. Wonder View just turns around, stares at the hammer, and just like, "That's the wonder, the one," and just stops in the middle, like just stops before it even hits his face. The wonder of you, and just throws it back. Well, like, doesn't do anything. He just like throws it back at Thor. That'd be cool. Um, Food guy, no, because like he tried to steal nutrients off Rohan and Josuke, and also there was only one thing he did good, and that was sacrificing his life for Josuke and Koichi during the Miyamoto fight. But at the end of the day, as I said to you before, just because you saved two people or saved a few people doesn't mean you're worthy. Like, if that's the case, then everyone here would be worthy. But yeah, so I don't think he'd be able to be worthy of the hammer. But that's just it. Hope you enjoy. Bye bye. This is literally, I can't believe I thought of this in my dream.